as you find your seat, make sure your feet are well planted and take a moment maybe to wiggle your toes and spread them out. And then get those knees more or less over your ankles and see if you can get your knees hip width and get your shoulders over those hips. Maybe close your eyes. And as always, nothing else to do right now other than to tune into your breath and making that transition from the outside more to the inside, that inner landscape, checking in with yourself. And see if you can deepen and lengthen your breath cycle. And as you slow down your breath, you might be able to distinguish a bit of a space or a pause after your inhale. And then allow your exhale to happen, and then find a slight pause after your exhale. And then you've transformed your 2-part cycle of breath, inhale, exhale, into a 4-part. Adding that slight pause, not too long, just a slight moment there so that you can distinguish the breath in from the breath out. And continue with that breathing pattern for a few more cycles. And then smoothing things out, so allow your inhales and exhales now to flow into one another. And your breath is still intentional, there's still that awareness of that breath. But try not to make it too efforting, so some ease in that breath too. And then we'll use that breath to start moving through that physical body. So use the exhale to drop the chin to your chest. And then as you inhale, draw the chin towards the right shoulder. And then as you exhale, return the chin to your chest. And then do the same towards the left shoulder. Inhale, chin towards the left shoulder. Exhale, and chin returns to chest. And let's do those half circles a few more times. Use your own cycle of breath here, your own rhythm. Moving gently from side to side. And then the next time that you feel even on both sides and your chin is at center, pause there. And then gently lift your gaze, looking forward, eyes open if you still had them closed, and then reach your arms overhead. Palms face one another, and then turn your palms out as your arms lower down by your side. And let's move like that a few more times. Turn your palms out and lift your arms, palms end facing one another, and then turn your palms out and lower those arms by your side. One more time, just like that, lifting, taking space, inhale, and exhale, and lowering. Now with your next inhale, reach your arms overhead. We're going to pause there. See if you can keep your arms more or less shoulder width. Your palms are facing towards each other. Take another full breath in. And then on your exhale, lower your right arm down by your side and then reach a bit more over with your left, coming into a side stretch through the left side. Bring yourself back through center and then take it over to the other side, left arm down, reaching up and over with your right. Bring it back through center on the inhale and then interlace your fingers overhead. Turn your palms to face up and give yourself here a whole upper body stretch. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. One more inhale, push through those palms. And then as you exhale, release those arms. And let's bring those hands under that right thigh. We're just going to lift that right knee. And it doesn't have to go very high, just enough so that you can begin to move your right ankle, find some rotation. And then switch direction. Slow things down. It requires a bit more intention to slow rather than go fast. And then pause with your rotation, and we're going to point on the inhale, sending those toes away from you, and flex on the exhale without changing anything else through the leg. Point and flex and point and flex. And now let's keep it flexed, and let's find some movement through that right hip. So slow, easy movement. Don't go too far early in practice. So just see where you're at with that right hip rotation. And then let's switch direction. And as you find those rotations, you might find a bit more rotation, a bit more width available. You could go for it. And then switch once again. And then last one, switch. And then bring that knee back through center. And now on your exhale, extend that leg out in front of you. Push through the heel. And then bend the knee, draw the heel in. Do it a couple more times. Extend. Push out through the heel. And bend. And one more time. Extend. And bend. And now lower that right foot, release the hands, reach them all the way up towards the ceiling. And then on your exhale, left arm down, side stretch, reaching up and over. Maybe a little bit more space appears in that right side. Breathe in and breathe out, coming back through center on the inhale, and then taking it over to the other side as you exhale, pausing for a moment. Find that stretch through the left rib cage. Breathe in and a breath out. Back through center on the inhale, and then as you exhale, lower those arms and bring those hands under that left thigh. So lifting that left knee, and then again, same thing that we did on the right. Find some movement through your left ankle. Intentional movement here, so it's not a swaying of the calf or the hip. It's just that ankle, and then switch direction. And then pausing with the rotation and going for the extension and flexion. So toes point away from you and flex on the exhale. And again, point and flex and point and flex. Nice job. And now we're going to keep that flexion, and we'll go for the hip rotation. So again, just start small circles, easy, and then switch direction. And as you find these rotations, you might find a bit more space, a bit more range, and then switch again. Try to keep your spine lifted. Breath in. Breath out, and last switch. And then the knee comes back through center. Keep it lifted. Try to keep your thigh where it is, and then just extending through that knee, so pushing out through your heel, and then flexing through that knee, drawing that heel in. And again, pushing out, and draw it back. And one more time, and extend. And bring it back, lowering that left foot, reaching your arms all the way up towards the ceiling. This time we're going into a twist. Right hand behind us and left hand crosses over. We're turning towards the right. Trying to keep those knees still pointing forward, so we're not really changing the legs. And that rotation is coming from the spine. Take another breath in. Take another breath out. Coming back through center, inhale, reach your arms tall, and then take it all the way to the other side. Left hand behind you, right hand crosses over. And we're turning towards the left. Draw the belly towards your spine. Keep that spine long. Another inhale. And another exhale. Coming back through center, breathing in, reach your arms tall. Find some space between your feet and your knees. We are folding forward, so you choose. Arms stay by your ears, folding like this, or a bit more supportive for the spine. Hands come to your thighs, and you reach your chest forward and down. Hands transfer now to your shins. Halfway lift on the inhale. Keep your elbows broad. And exhale, fold forward. Maybe the head drops and you're looking under your chair. Inhale again, halfway lift, lengthen through your spine, reaching forward. Exhale, fold. And one more. Inhale, half lift. And folding forward on the exhale. Nice job. Pause here for a moment. You could grab onto opposite elbows, or if you have your block nearby, plant it between your feet. Rest your hands on your block. Maybe even your elbows might be able to reach the block, and then your hands can support your head. Allow this to be a relaxing position for a breath in, for a breath out. And one more, just like that. Inhale and exhale. Now to rise up, make sure you press down through your feet, engage through your legs. Maybe your head and your arms hang and you rise up like this, or maybe you transfer your hands to your thighs and you support your spine again to lift up. Gently, the head will be the last to lift. Take a moment here, notice how you feel. And then with your next inhale, send your legs a little wider, so heel to toe your feet a bit out. And then heel to toe your feet back in. And let's do it again. Take them out and bring them back. One more time, just like that. Take them out and bringing them back in. Bring your right knee now all the way into your chest, so closer than before if you can. Bring your hands around your shins, do that, and really squeeze in. Bring your chest towards that thigh too, and bring your nose or your forehead towards your knee. So beginning to round here through your spine. And take a full breath in. And take a full breath out. Now as you inhale, lengthen your spine up and coming into a figure four with that right ankle crossing over, or the left thigh, or lower through that left leg at your shin or at your left ankle. Either way, right knee's pointing out towards the right and your right toes are drawing towards your shin. Okay? Take a full breath in, lengthen through the spine, and then on your exhale, hinge through your hips and find any amount of forward fold that works for you. Make sure that there's no pain in your right knee. Full breath in and full breath out. As you find that external rotation through your right hip, see if you can feel that stretch through the outside of your right or the right glute. Another inhale and another exhale. And now as you inhale, lifting the spine if you were folded, we're going to keep that figure four with the legs. Reach your arms tall. And as you exhale, bend your left elbow and drop the left hand behind the head. Use your right hand to draw that elbow closer to the head. So feeling a stretch through the triceps, so the back of that upper left arm. Full breath in, push the head back into the arm, and full breath out. Spine stays tall. One more inhale. And one more exhale. Nice job. Releasing those arms, breathing in, reaching your arms tall, and then finding a twist towards the left side. Left hand behind us, right hand crosses over, maybe to your thigh, maybe to that right foot. Keep your spine lifted as always in those twists. Keep those shoulders away from your ears. Nice job. Breathing in and breathing out. Returning through center on the inhale, reaching those arms up. And then as you exhale, arms lower, and that right thigh is going to come all the way over the left thigh, coming into your eagle legs. Right foot drawing towards the left shin. Open your arms out into a T. Breath in. And then as you exhale, your right arm is going to come under the left. See if you can stack your elbows or work towards stacking them. And then bend those elbows and bring your hands up to your shoulders or to the upper arms. Now lift your elbows, align them with your shoulders, and send your elbows away from you. See if you can feel a stretch through upper back. Don't overdo it. Breathe in and breathe out. One more inhale and exhale. Now as you breathe in, release those arms, reach them tall. And on your exhale, release arms down by your side and unwind your legs. Come back into your seat. Before we go on to the other side, rest your hands on your thighs, give your shoulders a roll, bring them up by your ears, squeeze them in, and gently release them down the back. And do that a couple more times. Bring them up and in, and gently release them down. One more breath in, and a breath out. Nice job. And then from here, hands are going to come around the left shin if that's available, but if not, again, behind that left thigh. But we're going to bring that knee as close to the chest as we can, and then bring the chest as close to your knee, to your thigh as you can. Head or forehead towards that left knee. Squeeze it in for a full breath in, for a full breath out. And now as you breathe in, see if you can feel a bit more stretch through the back body, back ribs. And exhale. And then as you breathe in, let's lengthen that spine up. And we're going to cross that left ankle over the right thigh or lower on that right leg to find your figure four on this side. Okay, again, careful with that left knee. Make sure there's no pain in it, and flex through your foot, draw the toes towards your shin. Maybe you're staying here, working that lifted spine. Maybe you're hinging at your hips and you're sending your chest forward and down. Okay? Make sure that the back of the neck stays long, so keep things kind of neutral through your neck. Sometimes when we reach forward or we fold forward, we tend to reach with the chin. What we do is just compress the back of the neck. And it's okay to do that. It's not that there's anything wrong with that, but if we always do it and we do it without kind of realizing, then we over compress. So if that's the case, just bring a bit more space in the back of the neck. One more breath right here. And then with your next inhale, if you were folded, let's rise up. We'll reach those arms tall. And then as we exhale, we're going to bend that right elbow, drop the right hand behind you, and then use your left hand to draw that elbow a bit closer to your head. So looking again for that stretch through the triceps and armpit, and you might even feel it down the right rib cage. Keep reaching up through the top of the head and stay in your figure four with your legs. You could make it a bit more active with your legs, so push down through the left ankle and push back with that right leg. One more breath. And then release, reaching arms tall, and we're finding a twist towards the right side. Right hand behind us, left hand crosses over, maybe thigh or foot. No change in those legs, and just rotating that torso towards the right side. Relax your shoulders down. Grow a bit taller through the top of your head. One more inhale. And exhale. And returning through center, breathing in, reach your arms tall. And then on your exhale, release your arms down, slide your left thigh over your right, your eagle legs on this side, drawing that left foot towards the right shin. Open up the arms, breath in. And then on your exhale, your left arm is going to come under the right this time. So trying to get those elbows as close to one another as you can. And then bend your elbows and hands or to shoulders or to upper arms. See what's available. And then work those elbows. So try lower elbows. See how that feels. And then try lifting your elbows. And you'll get a bit of a different stretch through that upper back when you lift your elbows. And then even more if you send your elbows away from you. And then even more if you direct your inhales to expand through that back body. And then you can direct your exhales to relax through those shoulders, through the face. A couple more breaths. And then when you're ready, let's unwind those arms. You can reach them tall. And exhale, lowering your arms. And then unwinding those legs and finding your seat. Rest again your hands on your thighs for a moment. And just give your shoulders a little roll. Or whatever feels good with your shoulders here, actually. And we'll add a little movement through the neck too. So let your shoulders now relax down. Take a full breath in. And then drop your left ear to your left shoulder. You could stay here, or you could drop your right arm down by your side. Imagine that there was a weight in your right hand and it's pulling that right arm down. So you're getting that extra stretch through the right side of your neck. Take a breath in and take a breath. Gently bring the head back through center, bring that hand back onto your thigh. And then if you need to take a pause, pause. But whenever you're ready, take it over to the other side. Right ear is going to go towards the right shoulder. And feel that stretch through the left side of the neck. And then maybe add that left arm dropping by your side. Imagine again that weight in your left hand. And it's really pulling on that left shoulder. But you're not leaning the spine in either direction. So from your neck down to your tailbone, it's still more or less in that perpendicular position, in reference to the floor. One more breath. And then gently coming back up. Hand returns to your thigh. Let's take an inhale to just lift the heels. Exhale and lower through your heels. And then again, lift through those heels and lower. And one more time, just like that, lift and exhale and lower. And now heel to toe your feet out wide. And we're going to keep them wide. So some action, some contraction through outer hips and glutes. Okay? And then see if you can press a bit more through the pinky toe side of your feet. So that's also going to activate a bit more through outer hips. Hands are going to be on your thighs, thumb on the inside, fingers on the outside. We're going to find a bit of a shoulder and twist stretch here. So breath in. As you exhale, send your right shoulder forward, turn your torso towards your left, and then fold towards your left thigh as you push your right thigh away. So as we pause here, just check in. And maybe you can do this kind of section by section. Check in with your right inner thigh. Notice the stretch. Check in with the right side of your waist and the right side of the lower back. See if you can notice the twist and the stretch there. And then check in with your shoulders, right shoulder versus left shoulder. And then lastly, check in with your face and notice if you could relax the jaw. Take another breath. And then use your next inhale to return through center. And we'll go straight to the other side. So left shoulder now is going to come forward. And as you come forward with your left shoulder, your right shoulder goes back a bit. And then we begin to fold over towards that right thigh. We're pushing the left thigh away, so you might be able to extend your left elbow. And then once you're in position, just give a little scan here. Okay. You could start just by checking in any sensation in that left inner thigh. And the left side of the waist and lower back. Maybe even towards the left ribs. The left shoulder. And then lastly, notice that jaw, Muscles around your eyes might be able to relax. Take another breath. And then use your next inhale to bring yourself back through center. Let's reach those arms tall. And then interlace your fingers, bend your elbows, and bring the hands to the back of your head, actually more like the base of the skull. And then open up those elbows, lean your head into those hands. And see if you can find that expansion through your chest. Pause here. And as your elbows go wide, keep your knees going wide too. So remember about pressing a bit more through the pinky toe side of your feet. Take one more breath in. And breath out. And then let's bring ourselves back to a neutral spine. Reach your arms tall. And then as you exhale, lower those arms back to your thighs and heel to toe your feet back to hip width. Nice job. Let's give those knees a little hug. So bring your left knee in, maybe hands around your shin. And again, find that rounded spine. So after that opening, more of a back bend, we're countering it with this rounded position. Knee or nose towards the knee. And emphasize your inhales, emphasize that space in the back body. And use your exhales to relax anything that needs relaxing at this point. One more breath. And then release that left foot and do the same thing with your right, bringing that right knee in, giving it a squeeze, and then giving yourself some space to round through that spine. And as you round through your spine, think about your exhales, drawing the belly towards the spine. So that emphasizes even more that kind of rounding action. You're keeping that lower belly engaged. One more breath. And then again, neutral spine, rising up, lowering that right foot. And then let's find that block. We're going to make our way up to stand. So we're going to plant that block between the knees to do this. Okay, so maybe narrow setting or maybe that mid setting. Just find the setting that will allow your knees to be more or less hip width. Okay, and you want to be able to press into that block, but your knees are not going kind of narrower than your feet or than your hips. So kind of that kind of alignment. We're going to lift and lower 3 times like this. So when you're ready, your arms can come forward, bring your weight into those feet, lift those sit bones, and then return to your seat as you exhale. And then we're slowing it down, so coming up really slowly. And then returning down even slower. And last one, just like that. Bring yourself forward and up. Nice job. Strong legs here. And then bring yourself back down on the exhale. All right, so move the block out of the way, and we're going to do the same thing now, just once, but without the block. So keep your knees stable in that same position. When you're ready, rising up on the inhale. And then returning on your exhale. And then this time we're going to rise up and stay lifted. Inhale. Keep a bend in your knees so you're in this chair pose. And then see if you can reach your arms up by your ears. Use your arms to really lengthen that side body, but keep sitting. Breathe in. Breathe out. Nice job. So those quads are working hard. And now with your next inhale, push the floor away, straighten those legs, reach tall. And as you exhale, lower your left arm down and find a standing side stretch. Bring yourself back up, inhale, and then take it over to your other side as you exhale. Bring yourself back up, inhale. And now on your exhale, bring your hands behind you and interlace them at your lower back. Okay, so some of you will stay here with the hands interlaced and you're working this. If the hands are not interlacing, keep working this. And you want to work it by drawing the shoulder blades towards one another. So think about that space between the shoulder blades as if you had like a ball there and you're trying to squeeze it. Okay, so that's how you'll get those hands a bit closer. Those of you that have the hands kind of easy, see if you can go for your wrists, or see if you can slide your hands towards your elbows. So opposite hand to opposite elbow. Okay, so just see what's available, and we'll stay for 3 cycles of breath. Okay. Once you are there, your challenge here is not to arch too much, so I don't want like bellies going out. You want to keep that belly drawing in, keep your glutes engaged, so pretty strong here, and it's just about opening through the chest. Breathing here. And another breath in. And breath out. And then releasing, let your hands, actually let's bring the palms together, let's interlace those fingers, and let's just find a little rotation through the wrists, both directions. And then release your arms down by your side, rotate through the wrists, and then find some gentle, effortless movement through your shoulders right now. Okay. All right, so let's find a bit of a standing practice. We'll use the back of the chair to help us with balance. We'll do a few lunges. Maybe we'll get into those hamstrings a bit. So we'll start facing the back of the chair. And in your standing position, as always, see if you can get your ankles, your knees, your hips, your shoulders more or less on the same plane. And then as you think about your neck, draw the chin slightly back and slightly down. And then reach tall through top of the head. And remember, when I say top of the head, it's more posterior than anterior. So it's not kind of here, it's more just over your ears. So kind of that lump that we have usually on the top of the head. So that would be the place that you want to reach tall. Okay. And then hands are resting on the back of the chair, and we'll go into a lunge on the left side. So when you're ready, left knee rises as you breathe in. And then on your exhale, lean your torso forward and send your left leg all the way back behind you. Bend into your right knee and land on the ball of that left foot. Once you've landed, lift your torso. And now here, adjustments. If you can, walk your right foot a little further forward, staying in your lunge. And if you notice that your torso is leaning forward because you've got your hands resting on the chair, bring your chair closer. And then let's push down through that left heel. See if you can feel a stretch through the back of your left ankle and that left calf. And some of you might be able to bend a little bit more into your front knee, keeping that torso lifted. Nice job. And then keeping your right hand on the back of the chair, left hand is going to reach forward and then all the way up by your ear. Okay. Any amount, maybe the elbow bends, or if this is not working, stay here. Think about reaching through that left side, lengthening that left waist away from your hips. Push down through that left heel. Breath in, breath out. Another inhale and another exhale. Nice job. And then if that left arm is lifted, lower it back down and then bring your weight forward again. So we're going to come forward, but we're going to transition in the same way we came into that lunge. So torso comes forward, there's some flexion, a bit more through that right hip, and then weight into your left leg. Keep that torso going forward, and then as your left leg comes forward, then your torso lifts and your left foot plants. Nice job. We'll go on to the other side. So as you're ready, your right knee will lift. Again, pay attention to that transition. Now, flex forward with your torso as if you were coming over your chair, and then begin to extend your right leg all the way back. Bend into your left knee, and then land on the ball of that right foot. Once you've landed, lift your torso. And now adjust. Maybe you can walk your left foot a little further forward. Slide your right foot a little further back. And then push down through that right heel. Get that ankle stretch, that calf stretch. And then when you're ready, left hand stays on the chair, right hand reaches forward, palm is facing in, and then reach that arm any amount towards the ceiling. So you're getting now that space in the right side of the body. And as you push down through that right heel, reach up through those right fingers. So that whole side is getting expanded. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more breath in. And then on your exhale, right hand returns to the chair. We're coming back forward. So slow things down. Bring your weight into that front leg. Bring your torso towards the chair. Lighten up on that back foot. And then step it forward and plant it. Coming back to your standing position. From here, on your inhale, lift your heels. And then as you exhale, lower your heels. Option to do this with the hands on the chair. Option to do it with one hand on the chair. Option to do it with no hands on the chair. Okay. 2 more times. Inhale to lift. Think about belly drawing in. Squeeze through the glutes. Exhale, lower. 1 more. Inhale to lift. And exhale to lower. Nice job. Hands return to the back of the chair if they left it, and then walk your feet back, coming into your downward facing dog here with the hands on the back of the chair. So walk your feet away from your chair, and then think about your sit bones reaching as far away from your fingers as you can. And if your knees are straight here, explore bending them and see if that makes a difference and how much you can reach your sit bones back and up. You might be able to get a little more stretch and space in that back body. Head between your arms. Maybe you're looking straight down to the floor. Maybe you're looking at your toes. Or if you want to let your neck relax, you might look towards your knees. Breathing here. And then lifting your gaze, looking towards your chair, and then walking your feet towards that chair and coming back to your standing position. And then once again, just bring your palms to touch, interlace your fingers, give your wrists a little roll, both directions. And then wiggle your fingers and relax your arms down by your side. So let's take it down to the mat. We'll move the chair out of the way. If you're not coming down to the mat, we're going to come into all fours. So a table pose. You could always do your table pose at your chair. Remember, hands on the seat of the chair, and you would be standing instead of being on your knees. Okay, so you probably can do the same things that we'll do on hands and knees in this standing position. And if you need some padding for your knees, remember to get a hold of that, slide it under your knees. And we'll meet in table, so hands more or less under shoulders, knees more or less under those hips. And we're going to do a little bit of wrist work here. So we'll start in neutral position with those hands, fingers pointing forward. And then we'll begin to rotate a bit through those hands. Okay. So we'll start by turning the left fingers towards the left side. And then turning the right fingers towards the right. And then if it's available, turn your left fingers a bit more towards your knees. And then your right fingers a bit more towards your right knee. Doesn't have to go all the way, just see what's available. And then we'll return. So left fingers point to the left. Right fingers point to the right. Left fingers point forward. Right fingers forward. And this time, left fingers now to the right. and right fingers to the left. So you're ending up with the insides of your wrists pointing outward. Okay. And then we'll go again. So fingers point forward, one hand at a time, and then out, again, one hand at a time. And then towards the knees, any amount, one hand at a time. And then return, fingers out, forward, and towards one another. And then once you've got them pointing towards one another, pause here, and we're just going to shift that torso from side to side. And make a point of pressing through the ends of your fingers. And just sending your weight towards the right and then towards the left a few more times. There you go, strengthening through the wrists. And then bring your torso back through center, and then bring your hands, your fingers to point forward. From here, we're going to go into puppy pose. So the wrists are going to get a little break. Your knees and hips are going to stay in line, and then walk your hands wide and then forward. So as you walk your hands forward, your chest is going to come a bit closer to the ground. You might be able to come onto your forearms. Okay, so if that's available, do that. But keep your sit bones in line with your knees, and those sit bones are reaching up. So if you think about it, it's kind of like a down dog, but there's more weight in your legs and your knees are on the ground. So you might feel again that stretch through your armpits, through your chest. Take a full breath in and take a full breath out. And then slowly bring your hands back towards you, coming back into your table pose. We'll do one more thing here and then we'll come onto our seat. So thread the needle. We're going to start with the left side. Left hand is going to come out to the side and then up towards the ceiling. But the important thing here is to turn your torso towards the left. Okay, so don't crank the shoulder. Allow your arm to go with your torso as you turn. And then as you exhale, thread that left arm under the right and just reach any amount that is available towards the right. Turn your gaze also to the right. And then 2 more times, just like that. Inhale to open to your left. Exhale to thread to the right. Inhale, open. And exhale and thread. Now as you inhale, just open to your left. And on your exhale, lower that left hand and come back to your table. Switching sides. Right arm comes out and then up, turning torso to the right. Exhale, thread that right arm under the left. Turn your gaze to the left. 2 more. Inhale, open. Exhale, thread. And last one, open. And thread. And then this time, let's just open to the right and then gently lower that right hand back to the mat and you're back in your table pose. From your table, we're coming into a seat. See if you can walk your hands towards you and then come to stand on your knees for a moment. And then from here, send your both feet towards one side. Let's say send them towards the right. Okay, and then if you've got your block nearby, you could hold your block in your left hand, plant it behind you, and then put weight into that block, and then see if you can get your sit bones to lower next to the block. And as you do that, your feet are out to the side, and then they're free to come forward. There you go, nice job. And then you find yourself in the seat. Feet are going to go wide, knees are wide too and bent, and then your hands are coming onto your shins. And get a grip on those shins. We're going to use that grip to bring the chest forward into cow, lifting the gaze, squeezing the shoulder blades towards one another, and then exhale to round into cat. Hold on to those shins so that you don't go all the way back. And 2 more times, just like that. Use your arms here. Inhale, bring yourself forward. Open through your chest. Exhale, send it back. Chin to chest, find that space in your back. And 1 more. Inhale, bring it forward. Nice job. And exhale and round it back. And then with your next inhale, neutral spine, and we're going to come all the way onto our back body. So you can bring your feet to hip width. You can roll onto one side, drop your knees to the side, come onto forearm and come onto your back, or reach your arms forward. Remember to keep your chin close to your chest as you do this, and we're going to slowly roll that spine onto the mat, starting with that lower back, that mid back, that upper back, and then lastly, the head. And then once the back body is down on the mat, bring those knees into your chest and give that back body a bit of a massage just by shifting your weight from side to side. Maybe there's an open mouth exhale that will allow the body to release a bit more towards the ground too. And then keep the right knee close to your chest and plant your left foot on the ground. Left knee is going to stay bent. And then we're going into a figure 4 again. So this time it's a reclined figure 4. See if you can cross your right ankle just over your left thigh. And then without using your hands, using the strength in your hip, your right leg, push that right knee away from you. There you go, nice job. Keep your right foot flexed, keep drawing those right toes towards the shin, there you go. And maybe your hands are resting on your belly, breathing here. And now some of you will stay here and this will be plenty. If you want to take it somewhere else, you could bring the whole structure in towards you. So that will mean lifting that left foot off the ground, drawing that left thigh towards you. You could use your hands, bring those hands around your left thigh, and then help that thigh come a bit closer in. But again, just another option. But if you lose some of that stretch through the right hip, then maybe stay with the left foot down. Breath in. And breath out. One more inhale. And exhale. If you had your left foot lifted, lower it back down, and then release that right foot all the way to the ground. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So when you're ready, bring your left knee towards your chest. Just give it a little squeeze in before you go into your figure 4. Take a breath. And then when you feel ready, cross that left ankle over your right thigh. Right foot is still on the ground. And then you're just using the strength through that left hip, left leg to find that figure 4 position. So you're sending your left knee away from you. Keep your left toes drawing towards the shin. Hands maybe rest on the belly. Connect to that breath. And then you might stay, or you might bring the whole structure in. And if you're using your hands, those hands would go around that right thigh. And you'd bring that thigh a bit closer to your chest. As you do this, try to keep your left leg active. So you're still actively drawing that knee away from you. So it's a way of strengthening through that left outer hip, as well as stretching it. finding that cycle of breath. And then gently, when you're ready, releasing that figure 4, lowering that right foot down if it was lifted, and then planting that left foot on the ground. Bring your feet wide, so maybe to the edges of your mat, and allow your knees to rest against one another. Hands come to the belly, take a full cycle of breath. And then one last movement here, dropping those knees towards the left side as if they were window wipers. And then maybe staying here or finding a bit more stretch or length through the right side. Your right arm could come out into a T, or you might bring it all the way by your right ear. Take a full inhale, a full exhale. And then bring yourself back through center, knees lift, your feet are still wide, knees can touch, and then take those knees all the way over towards the right. Maybe stay here, maybe left arm comes out into a T, maybe it comes all the way up by your ear, so the left side of the body gets a little bit more space. Full cycle of breath. And then releasing, bringing yourself back through center. And before we find stillness, just check in and see if there's any other movement that you might be craving, whether it's bringing those knees in towards the chest once again, rocking a bit from side to side, maybe finding a bit of rotation through your ankles, maybe through your wrists. But then eventually find a position in which you can stay for about, it might be like 3 minutes or so. So there's time to settle in. You might take a little wiggle. You might be able to lengthen out just a little bit more. And then use an open mouth exhale to really relax the body towards the ground. Allow the ground now to support you. And it's almost like you're trying to become one with the ground, so melt into it, and all that effort that we invest in standing up, in holding ourselves together and separate, right now you don't need it. And you could really kind of fuse with that earth underneath you. And for these next few minutes, nothing else to do. Allow your breath to be just that automatic breath. And then rather than force the mind to do certain things, just let it be. And see if you can watch it from the side. And then as always, if you got the time and you wish to stay for longer, feel free to do that. If you're ready to move, we can do it together. Tune into your breath, make it just a bit more obvious. And then just begin to find gentle movement through your feet, through your hands. Then take it all the way up the legs and through your arms. And then through the neck. And move the face. Maybe take a yawn, maybe wiggle the muscles around your eyes. If you feel like stretching your arms overhead, you could do that. And then from your back body, roll onto the side, bringing those knees towards your chest. Kind of taking a little hug here, resting for another breath in and another breath out. And then from your side, use your hands to gently push yourself up, finding a comfortable seat. And then hands can rest on your lap, or you could rest your hands at your heart. Let that spine grow tall. And then let's just take a moment, as always, to acknowledge the practice. And then we'll acknowledge ourselves for practicing today. We'll acknowledge those who practice with us, all those who make it possible. And we'll end with a word that means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.